Well, the Air Force has disciplined 15 members of the Air National Guard who failed to take proper action that could have halted the leak of hundreds of classified documents online. The findings detail the lack of supervision and, quote, culture of complacency that gave way to Airman First Class Jack Teixeira's ability to access and leak hundreds of highly classified documents on a Discord server. And the leaked documents reveal secrets on the war in Ukraine, the Chinese spy balloon, North Korea's drones, and U.S.-Saudi Arabia tensions. Some of the materials placing critical sources and spy agencies at risk. The newly released report identifies 4 instances where members of Teixeira's unit failed to report the airman's questionable activity. He was arrested during an FBI raid in April and has pleaded not guilty to federal charges against him. NewsNation national security contributor Tracy Walder, she joins us live. Tracy, it's always great to have you weigh in on issues like this. Once again, a lack of supervision, a culture of complacency, all said to be part of this. How did you receive that news?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Kelly. So the way I received this was a little bit different, actually, than what was reported. I actually think that this issue goes back farther because the reality is during his background check for just a secret level clearance, information was actually not shared with his unit that he had created Molotov cocktails in the past and had somewhat of a history of run-in with law enforcement. And so the reality is this goes all the way back to his initial background investigation, and that information should have been shared. Now, it may not have precluded him from being in the military, but it certainly would have precluded him from ever obtaining a clearance. So I just wish we talked about this going back even farther than when he was in the unit itself.
Really interesting. So in terms of your analysis, what do you think needed to happen preemptively to avoid a crisis like this?
Well, in my opinion, this whole thing is just a collapse of communication, really, if not more things than that. I'm oversimplifying it. But I do think that was necessary information when you have a history of violence, and this was documented, there were police reports. That information has to be shared, and it has to be shared with the people that are coming into direct contact with him. So I think, when we look at that issue, that's problematic. But then also you have issues within the unit itself. It's come to my attention that there were no printing permission controls. When you have a top secret clearance situation, you have to ask permission to print things, and they didn't even have that here. So it's just a complete breakdown.
So what do you believe will happen in light of these findings, Tracy? What changes are you expecting next?
So obviously they have relieved some individuals of their command, which, the buck essentially does stop with them. And that was the appropriate thing to do. My hope is that they will now conduct security audits really across the board in the reserves and see exactly what's going on, because there are some pretty egregious things that were occurring. Nothing was ever being reported over the squadron level. He was somebody who was really working on the HVAC system, but had a top secret clearance and was being left alone all by himself. I mean, these are massive, massive security lapses. And so I do think an overall audit needs to be done, but an audit also needs to be done of the background check process.
So I'm curious, there were 15 others who were disciplined in this leak. What sort of involvement would they have had to face any sort of punishment in general?
So I think that their involvement wasn't necessarily actually sharing the information themselves, but I think their involvement and their issue is really where they didn't create the proper stopgaps that needed to be in place within their units. When you have things of them not having the proper printing permissions, when you have things of, hey, we're not going to report this because we think security might overreact to this reporting, that is the issue. So the reason they're being disciplined, in my opinion, is probably has less to do with the fact that they were passing classified information and everything to do with the fact that they were not following proper security protocols.
Are you expecting that some of the audits you outlined will actually happen, Tracy?
I want it to happen, but maybe that's a little Pollyanna-ish of me. I'm not sure if it will happen. They need the funding, quite frankly, to have it happen. So that needs to be asked for first. And if they obtain the funding, then yes, they'll happen.
All right. Well, we will see. Tracy Walder, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.